mitatu nimejaribu, sio kwa maneno, kwa vitendo, kusahihisha historia hiyo. Kwanza, uraia wa sehemu hii ya Northern Kenya iliwekwa taswishi. The citizenship of the people of Northern Kenya was contested. Their legitimacy to identification documents provided for by the Constitution were put in question. And there was discrimination, and there was selective application of standards. Right here in Wajir, in 2025, I signed a presidential proclamation to abolish that discrimination. Today, every citizen of Kenya goes through the same process. And I said it today. We are not reckless. We are doing the right thing. And I said, justice and security go hand in hand. We have to secure our country by making sure that only Kenyans get identification documents as Kenyans. And that applies to everybody. It applies to the kids in Eldoret, in Kisumu, in Kiambu, in Mombasa, in Machakos, everywhere. What we have removed is the discrimination, that different standards are applied to different citizens on the basis of their ethnicity and on the basis of the region they come from. So I am very proud that today was a turning point. Apart from removing, wacha niongee Kiswahili, mbali na kuondoa ile changamoto ilikuwa kwa wananchi wa sehemu hii ya Northern Kenya kupata vitambulisho, vile vile tumeweka mpango kamili kuhakikisha kwamba maendeleo vile vile ya barabara, ya stima, ya maji, ya housing, ya markets, ya hostels na pia ya ufugaji imefikia Northern Kenya kama vile inavyofikia wananchi wote wa taifa letu la Kenya. Wakati nilikuja hapa na nikazungumzia ile barabara kubwa ya kilomita 750, watu wengi waliona tu ni mzaha, ni yale tu mambo ya kawaida ya siasa, kwa sababu watu wengi hawana imani, ya kwamba inawezekana. Na hiyo ndio changamoto kubwa tulio nayo, ya kwamba watu wanataka mambo yafanyike instant. Lakini kujenga taifa ni hatua kwa hatua. Leo mimi nafurahi hiyo barabara inaendelea katika sehemu nyingi. Kuna sehemu mbili ambayo ilikuwa katika program nyingine inaitwa Annuity, kutoka Modogashe, Habaswein mpaka Samatar, na kutoka Ramo mpaka Mandera. Hizo sehemu mbili sasa nimebadilisha. Tumepata marafiki wakiwemo watu wa World Bank, na sasa hizo sehemu mbili pia nimetoa kutoka Annuity, nimeweka katika program hii, na sasa tutaendelea na ujenzi. Vile vile nimekuwa hapa kwa mambo ya stima. Tumeonelea sehemu hii kwa sababu ya umbali kutoka the main grid. Tukasema njia ya rahisi ya kutatua matatizo ya stima sehemu hii ni kuwa na mini grids. Na tumeweka pesa karibu bilioni 8 katika counties hizi tatu kuhakikisha kwamba tunashughulikia mambo ya stima. Na leo basi tumekuja hapa kuwa na maadhimisho ya kwanza ya Madaraka Day kwa miaka 63 ikifanyika katika sehemu hii ya Northern Kenya ambayo iliitwa Closed District, ikaitwa Northern Frontier, ikaitwa majina mengine mengi. Lakini leo hapa Wajir, Kenya mzima wamekuwa hapa na sherehe ya madaraka imefanyika Wajir kwa stadium ambayo tumejenga kudhibitisha ya kwamba pande zote za taifa letu la Kenya ni sawa. And I am very mimi nimefurahi sana. It was very emotional. I didn't know that it was going to be this emotional for me. I can understand that it is emotional for the people of Northern Kenya. But that emotion is not just about the people of Northern Kenya. It's about the people of Kenya. That we are one people, we are one nation, and we have one common destiny.
Pengine kwa wakati moja Bwana Rais, uliomba msamaha wenyeji wa eneo hili la Kaskazini Mashariki kwa niaba ya taifa, kwa niaba ya ofisi yako. Kumbuka kwamba miaka za awali kuna mauaji yaliyotokea katika sehemu hii ya Wagala, Malkamare, Garissa. Maelfu ya watu waliangamia katika mauaji hayo. Unaweza wapa wenyeji wa sehemu hii matumaini labda serikali inapanga compensation au wataweza kulipwa fidia yoyote, Bwana Rais?
Unajua, mbali na yale umesema ya mauaji Wagala, Garissa, pia kuna maovu zaidi ya kukosekana kwa maendeleo sehemu hii. Watoto wengi katika sehemu hii kukosa kwenda shuleni, madawa kukosekana hospitalini. Juzi Ijumaa, counties ambazo bado kina mama wengi wanakufa wakienda hospitali kupata watoto, na watoto wengi bado wanakufa, ni counties za Northern Kenya na pastoral communities. So ile nimeomba msamaha hapa ni kwa sababu serikali ya Kenya, na nikisema serikali ya Kenya nasema serikali ya Kenya tangu tuwe taifa huru haijashughulika ipasavyo kwa usawa kwa watu wa sehemu zote, especially watu wa sehemu hii ya North. Ilikuwa ni makosa wakati huo, ni makosa wakati huu, na itaendelea kuwa makosa kama tutaendelea hivyo. Na nikasema ya kwamba yale ambayo yako nyuma yetu tunaomba msamaha kwamba yalifanyika kukiwa na serikali ya Kenya. Ya muhimu ni kwamba leo tunaibadilisha. Leo tunahakikisha kwamba uraia wa Kenya ni kwa Wakenya wote kwa usawa. Maendeleo katika taifa letu la Kenya ni ya Wakenya wote kwa usawa, na hivyo ndivyo itakavyokuwa. Na hatusemi hivyo kwa maneno, tunasema hivyo kwa vitendo. Yanaonekana the last 3 years, kwa miaka mitatu imepita, nimedhihirisha ya kwamba usawa inawezekana, na sio lazima sehemu moja ya Kenya ikose ndio sehemu ingine ya Kenya ipate. Sote tunaweza kupata. Housing inaendelea kila sehemu ya Kenya, markets inaendelea kila sehemu ya Kenya, ujenzi wa barabara inaendelea kila sehemu ya Kenya, stima inaendelea kila sehemu ya Kenya, elimu ya watoto wetu inaendelea katika kila sehemu ya Kenya. So ile mawazo ya zamani kwamba ili wale wapate lazima wengine wakose, haya ni fikra duni, ni fikra ya viongozi ambao hawana maono, ya kutosha kuendesha taifa lote la Kenya, kwa usawa. So kwa watu wa Northern Kenya, ile msamaha kubwa tutafanya ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba sehemu hii inapata haki yake ya maendeleo, haki yake ya kushikamana kama taifa. Wananchi wa hapa, uraia wao usiwekwe tena katika mizani ama katika taswishi. And that I commit.
Halima.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We really appreciate the program of the road, especially the removal of the annuity program. You have said we will start soon. How soon is that? Because it is the wearer of the shoe who understand the importance of that road and for the people of Northern Kenya. My second question is, as today we celebrated Madaraka Day, you have seen how our students performed very well if given opportunity. But still in Northern Kenya, we are lacking in terms of infrastructure in our schools. And what is your government doing to bridge that gap in terms of infrastructure? Thank you.
I agree with you, Halima. The school kids were phenomenal. They were awesome, to say the least. I mean, those kids were just out of this world. And they confirm that all our children deserve the best from us. And we should never, ever discriminate against any part of Kenya, because those children are innocent. They want a future like their colleagues everywhere in Kenya. And that is precisely the reason why I sat down with the leaders of this Northern Kenya. And I did so when I was Minister for Education. I remember I sat down with the MPs and I told them, look here, you must persuade the people of Northern Kenya to go to Teachers Training College so that they can come and teach the children of Kenya. I'm very happy that several years down the road, we now have 4 functioning teachers training colleges in Northern Kenya. As I said in my statement, we have close to 4,600 today students training as teachers in those colleges. I did instruct affirmative action by the Teacher Service Commission. We've hired an extra 1,800 teachers beyond what TSC have hired across the country, just to make sure that the children of Northern Kenya, many of whom have had very serious shortages of teachers in their classrooms, have a teacher before them. We have built classrooms across Kenya, but specifically, I have given instructions to the Ministry of Education that the 1,600 laboratories that are being built, they should target marginal areas where students have never seen a laboratory, where a student reads about a Bunsen burner and a test tube and all the other gadgets that are used in laboratories. And I'm very happy that that progress is ongoing. CS Julius Migosi and his team are doing a great job in making sure that we create equity in that space. On the road project is going on. I know many people always are tempted to say, when are you doing this? You see, and I asked many of these people. The road from Nairobi or Isiolo to Mandera did not happen when I became president. That road was always there. The first president did not do it. The second did not do it. the third did not do it, the fourth did not do it. Cut me some flack. I'm doing something about it. In my first 3 years, a good section of that road is already underway. I will be in Kotulo tomorrow to look at what is going on. I will be in another section in Wajir tomorrow, just to inspect what is going on. One thing I want to promise you is that it is my commitment that whatever it is, that road will be built, God willing, in my time. Just to make sure that the prejudices of the past can be eliminated so that investment can come to this region. Let me tell you, Halima, a road is more than tarmac. A road is bigger than just, a place for cars to use. It is way bigger. It changes, places. Places. Creates economic activity, makes it easier to transport goods to markets, makes it easier for people to travel, brings about investment. So it's a major thing. And I know that full well because I've been around for a while. So I will do my best. God willing, I should be back here before September, and all the procurement issues will be done. But that is just for those 2 sections. The other 9 sections are going on.
Saitoti.
Your Excellency, welcome to Wajir again for this and hosting for this roundtable of all the media houses based here in Wajir. My question goes on matters of border, and of course Kenya shares border with Somalia. And there are many economic benefits between Kenya and Somalia. And of course, these borders are closed up to now. Many successful regimes have never opened this border. And once it could be open, there are many economic issues could come here and there. Tax could be increased. And the northern Kenya, particularly people who are Garissa, Mandera, and Wajir, could benefit from this border. Your Excellency, honestly, will your administration open this border, or when?
Thank you very much, Bwana Saitoti. Or so I was told. It is my wish. I really thought I would have opened those borders by now. But unfortunately, there is always a delicate balance between security and commerce. And we must protect both. We have had challenges with our border with Somalia because of the things that you all know. We have gone out of our way as a country to make sure that we secure that border at huge cost, by the way. We have our own men, gallant soldiers in Somalia, protecting our country
from within Somalia. We are working with many partners. Unfortunately, over the last 2 years, there hasn't been a coherent plan on how to deal with the challenge in Somalia. That's what has slowed the steps that I had put in place. Today, we do not have a predictable funding model that is supported by the international community to secure Somalia. The troops that are there in Somalia from different countries are not, there is no predictable mechanism. In fact, in many instances, we've had to use our own money to keep our security men in Somalia. That has complicated the whole program. Number two, because there are two problems. That one, and also the problem is that we have a challenge of politics again in Somalia. Currently, there is an ongoing process that is not quite agreeable to all the states in Somalia. And we have, we're trying to assist them to create some understanding. Because if you do not have unity of government in Somalia, it becomes much more difficult to provide security. And I appreciate that there would be a lot of commerce between Kenya and Somalia, and indeed Kenya with all the other countries. Cross-border trade is a thing that we all aspire to. It is the reason why we have the East African Community. It is the reason why we have COMESA. It's the reason why we have Africa Continental Free Trade Area, to try and eliminate barriers, remove roadblocks to trade, because trade benefits everybody. So we're still assessing, we are still looking at opportunities to see how we can open the border, but that is a delicate balance that we must always keep in check to make sure that we do not do one and lose the other.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. President. My name is Abdikader Rukash from Kulam Post. That's one of the leading digital media in this region, northern Kenya. Secondly, I want to ask 3 questions, and I think you will allow me. First, there were a lot of presidents in this country, and you proudly said that you take pride in taking northern Kenya part and parcel, to be part and parcel of this country into the fold. What really, take us through your mind, what really took, how do I put it, what really inspired that decision to hold a Madaraka Day celebration in Wajir? What inspired that decision in your mind? The second question, in the TJRC report, if I take you back, the report called for 3 things: a sweeping institutional reforms, widespread reparation for the victims, and an apology. We have the apology. How soon are we going to see reparation, and are there institutional reforms? And thirdly, I came by road from Nairobi, and from Dogashe, we started hitting the Maram. My colleague here asked you how soon. Now I want to take the question home. What were the bottlenecks? What is the status of the road project right now? Because a lot of times we have seen the machinery, we have seen you on the ground, but I'm not asking when, I'm not asking how, but what were the bottlenecks and what are we doing about it? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ukash. And I'm very happy to know that you run a digital media house. You know, it's quite it's quite a stroke of a genius. I mean, to have people like yourself, you know, looking at new spaces, you know, for opportunity. You know, it's not the traditional newspaper, it's not the traditional media house. And I think I want to commend you and those in that space. It also speaks to using the media space responsibly. You know, we are using the media space to create content, to, you know, get information to people. And that is why you have come to sit here and try and get some information from me to pass to your audience. You have said something about what informed me to do this. Number one, it is the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do. I am one person who believes in people. I believe in inclusivity. I have worked with every community in Kenya. I think I am one of the politicians in Kenya that can go to Nyanza and there is a relationship between me and them. Western the same, Central the same, Northern Kenya the same, Coast the same. And in my place as president, in my place as the leader of this nation, I have the responsibility, unique responsibility, to be the father of the nation. And that comes with huge responsibility. It means you have to think about every part of Kenya in a way that a father thinks about their children. And you have to balance, you know, and make sure that none of the parts of Kenya, no community in Kenya feels they don't belong. You know, many people, you know, tell me, oh, you see, you're wasting your time. Don't do this to this community. They will never vote for you. Don't do this to this part of Kenya. They will never vote for you. You know, I am not doing things for people to vote for me. I am doing them because I am the president of Kenya. They do not have another president. And I am doing them because it is the right thing to do. Some of the things that I do, Ukash, are not very popular, but I do them because it is the right thing to do. People may not appreciate it today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next year, but one day they will know that it was the right thing. I will give you an example. And just so that I contextualize what you have asked me. When I drove the program of housing, and there was the housing levy that created the housing fund, it required contribution of 1.5% by every Kenyan and 1.5% by their employers. And it was a difficult thing, you know. So many stories were said, you know, this man is a Sakayo, I don't know what, you know, those things. But today, 3 years down the 3 years down the road, every part of the Republic of Kenya is changing. And I tell you, without the housing levy, without the housing fund, everything you see, from the houses right here in Wajir, from the markets you see, from the hostels, our own children, we are building hostels for 180,000 students. You know? So, that is what changes a nation. The right decision changes a nation. And so that, to put it in context, what informs my righting the wrong that was done to the people of northern Kenya is because it is the right thing. Up to now, there are people who are questioning me. Why are you doing this? Why are you building a big road for 100 billion to nowhere? There are people who think like that, even up to now. There are people even who are questioning, oh, what is so special about, I mean, they're even saying a stadium in Wajir is the wrong priority. You know? Because people cannot see beyond what is popular. People cannot see beyond what is convenient. Yeah? There are people who are still even questioning me. Oh, you see, why did you remove vetting? You know, terrorists are going to be to get Kenyan ID cards. You know, such pedestrian thinking. And those are the things that requires a leader who is not chasing after popularity. A leader who is not seeking votes at every moment, but a leader who is ready and willing to make the decisions, who has the courage to do the right thing, even if it doesn't have instant gratification. So that is the reason why I am doing this for Northern Kenya. Other presidents had an opportunity to do it, but I have decided that it is in my time that I want to do this. It is the right thing for the people of Northern Kenya. Number two, you have said about the TJRC, and it's talking about reparation, it's talking about all the things that need to be done. As I told you, Rome was not built in one day. Yeah? We've had a new constitution for the last now 15 years. But at least the journey towards correcting the wrongs of the past has begun. Northern Kenya is getting what is due to them in terms of the education of their children, the development of this region, whether it is in roads, whether it is in electricity. We are working on water and all the other things that this region deserves. We are on course. We are correcting the discrimination on issuance of IDs, and we are making the steps. I am very confident that in due time, we will finally, do what is right in full to the people of Northern Kenya. On the matter you have mentioned about the road, I agree with you that did you at any one time use part of the road that's already built?
I wasn't fortunate enough.
Yes. I would suggest that you do. And I would suggest that you come with me tomorrow to Kutulu.
Am I invited?
Yes. You can count what I have said as an invitation.
Thank you so much.
So that you see part of the road, part of the sections of the road that we are working on. And I am very proud of it. It is phenomenal what's going on. The section from Modogashe, I am briefed by the ministry that the consultant will be appointed this month. The procurement will happen next month. And God willing, by August, latest September, we will come and with a contractor to begin the works. That is both on the two sections, Modogashe to Samatar and from Ramo to Mandera. And I am very persuaded about it. We had to terminate the contract, the annuity contract that was there. And to avoid legal problems, you have to take it through a process. And I think that's what took a while. Of course, some of the sections, some contractors also brought issues that there wasn't enough security. But I have mobilized the whole of government. There is adequate security to make sure that this road is built, because this road will also be a security road. It will actually change the security of this region. And that is why it is important.
Pengine Faisal.
Thank you, Mr. President, for this roundtable. I'm Faisal Abdurrahman from Citizen TV. I have two questions. The first one is about inclusivity. You have many a times emphasized on inclusivity, Mr. President. How can this be made constant when, in a national discourse, when a regime after regime flip the scale of equality? The second question is about the opposition is accusing you for using this trip as a belt and not a real development. What's your response to them?
Pardon me again, they are saying what?
They're saying you are using this trip to Wajir as a belt and not a real development. What's your response to them?
Thank you very much. My commitment to inclusion goes beyond this trip. It goes beyond northern Kenya. When I had the opportunity, I reached out, and for your information, immediately after the last election, I reached out to the former Prime Minister because I wanted to build politics that accommodates and that gives us a chance to move together as a nation. I reached out to the former president, and it was my intention also to make sure that we move together. And so when I talk about inclusivity, I am not talking in compartments. Today, we have a broad-based government. It may not have happened or been brought about by the best of circumstances, but I am very proud that today we have a broad-based government. One that creates the opportunity for more people to work together, to bring people together, to create a sense of belonging to different parts of Kenya, different communities, different people from different political persuasion. And it was deliberate for me to form the broad-based government. I was very deliberate about it. There were people who are opposed to the formation of the broad-based government because, many people don't see things from the same point of view. Some people are very unhappy that, those who did not vote for us, people who are undeserving are now part of government. Some were complaining, how can the Minister for Finance come from a certain region, that kind of thing. It is that kind of mentality that we must dismantle. And I did some of these things deliberately, to demonstrate to Kenya that any Kenyan from any part of our republic can serve in any capacity. I remember, for example, when I appointed the late General Ogola as the CDF. I mean, many people came and told me, oh, you see, you're going to be overthrown, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Some, small talk that has completely no basis at all. Build on suspicion, build on prejudice against other people. I remember it was the same years back when, for the first time, President Moi appointed General Mohammed as CDF. Many people said then, how do you appoint somebody from the shifter community to be, Those kind of prejudices are prejudices we must dismantle in Kenya. And that is what drives, those kind of prejudices drives exclusivity. And so it is my firm belief that inclusion is not a favor. Inclusion makes us a stronger nation. It makes us It creates synergy that then helps us to drive, the country forward. As for those on the other side, they are entitled to their opinion. I don't do things, and I have never done things for convenience or to push a political agenda. What I do is that which I believe in me that is right for Kenya. My friend, it's not always that one becomes president of a country. It's the highest honor anybody can be. And therefore, I don't take it for granted that a person with not so much background like me today is the leader of a great nation like Kenya. So I take it very seriously. I take it very seriously. Many people think I do more than what a president is supposed to do. I show up in too many places. Many people accuse me sometimes of being micromanaging things and those kind of things. Well, that's their thinking. But for me, I take this responsibility very, very seriously. I take the fact that I am the leader of this nation very seriously. And I apply my mind to it. I deploy my energy. I do everything that I can to make sure that I move this country to the next level. And by the way, it's happening. This country is moving. Even my competitors today agree. Even them, they agree that we have moved this country. I saw some of them saying, William Ruto has built a Talanta Stadium. We don't want him, if we defeat him, we don't want him to hand over to us at Kasarani. We should go to Talanta. At least they appreciate that I built Talanta. Many of them even say that, it doesn't matter. William Ruto has done everything. He has built this. He has built the stadia. He has done the road to Mau Summit. He's doing the road to northern Kenya. But it doesn't matter. Even if he has done all that, we still want him out. You see, that's their thinking. But what they are admitting is that William Ruto has done something for this country. We have moved this country to the next level. And that, to me, is enough. It's satisfactory for me that Kenya has moved from where it was to where it is today.
Nurdin?
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and welcome to Wajir once again. And I'll ask a set of questions here. Question number one, and question left hanging by my colleague and Sitoti, about the Kenya-Somali border. And Somalia is now a member of East Africa Community. Does that mean Somalia does not benefit from the East Africa Free Trade Agreement? And if it does not, it's going to be a disadvantage to the people in northern Kenya, which share a border with Somalia. So what are your agendas in line with that free trade agreement with Somalia? And then my second question, there's a construction of a border wall between Kenya and Somalia. What happened to that border wall? The status of that border wall. And then question still related to issues of security. One of your officers, a KDF Sergeant Abdullah Isa Ibrahim, is among officers who were kidnapped while serving the country in Somalia. What is the government doing to secure the release of that officer and other officers who are still in the hands of the terrorist group in Somalia? And my final question, Mheshimiwa, I'm very sorry. And we have a ghost high court building here in Wajir, a 900 million worth of a project funded by World Bank. is lying idle. It has become a white elephant project in town. Apparently, the judge who has been posted to this town is using a small makeshift room at the court building here in Wajir. It's ironical, but the facility is lying idle. What is your government doing to revive such project which will have served the people in northern Kenya? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Even though we have a challenge with the border, that does not deny Somalia the opportunity to trade with the rest of the region. The trade between us and Somalia would be a lot more, but now it's forced to be trade that does not necessarily use our borders. But there is trade that is continuing. We have so much happening by freight. We have so much happening by alternative means, by sea and other avenues that continues to facilitate trade between Somalia and the East African community. So it would, of course, have been a lot different if the borders were not with the challenges that we have. But that is something that we will continue to assess, and hopefully, once we sort out the political challenges in Somalia. I was just briefed today by the Somali ambassador that President Hassan Sheikh will be coming to Kenya for the Ocean Summit early this month. And it will give me and him an opportunity to explore opportunities of what we can do together to see to it that we solve some of the challenges that exist with our borders and with our region. On the High Court facility, we have just approved as cabinet a facility for the judiciary to be able to expand some of their facilities across Kenya. It is a constitutional requirement that every part of Kenya must have requisite infrastructure for justice to be dispensed. And we have approved as cabinet and as government a facility for us to work with development partners to expand the footprint. I am very confident that one of the facilities that will benefit from this new funding that we have signed into will be Wajir, and hopefully we can now deploy the full scale of a high court here and make that facility operational. You asked me about construction of the border wall. That is a facility that was undertaken by government. It got to a point and priorities became different, and I think there was new thinking that maybe we can better protect this region differently. And we now have a dedicated unit that from the military that is assisting and working in a multi-agency framework to secure that region. As to some of our men, military officers, you know, for example, we have some missionaries from one of our countries that also were captured right here in Kenya and taken across. So we are using all channels available, diplomatic channels, intelligence channels, and all other channels to make sure that we secure the release of these citizens. And we will continue to work with the international community. We will continue to work with the government in Somalia and all other actors, and with the support of friends from across the globe, the United States and others, to help, you know, diplomatically secure the release of these citizens, some of them citizens of other countries, that were caught up in these challenges. So we will continue to explore opportunities. There are some that we have secured their release. There are some that we are still pursuing channels for their release. And we will continue to work with everybody to achieve that.
Bwana Rais, tukimalizia labda sasa ndio tunafika tamati mwa mahojiano haya. Wengi wamezungumzia tu swala la Wajir Stadium katika eneo hili la Wajir. Pengine katika siku mbili uliokuwa katika sehemu hii, unaweza tu tujengea taswira labda sehemu zipi ambazo umezuru na labda ni maendeleo gani mengine umeleta katika eneo hili la Wajir?
Asante sana. Unajua, kabla sijafika hapa jana nilikuwa Habaswein. Pale Habaswein tulikubaliana na wananchi wa Habaswein ya kwamba pale mjini kulikuwa na matope nyingi sana. Tukaweka pesa ya serikali karibu shilingi milioni 600 kujenga barabara za mji wa Habaswein, kilomita 7. 5 zimekamilika. Nilipitia huko kuziona jana, na zingine zinaendelea, na nimewahakikishia wananchi wa Habaswein ya kwamba barabara kubwa ambayo itajengwa sasa, hiyo corridor ya Northern, ndio itapitia Habaswein town. Ile barabara ambayo hatujafanya pale ni kwa sababu hiyo ni baadhi ya barabara zitajengwa na ile Northern corridor ambayo nimezungumzia hapa kwamba tutaianzisha. Nilipitia pia Habaswein kwa sababu ya mambo ya stima. Pale tumeweka mini grid ambaye ni hybrid, ambaye tumetumia karibu milioni 700. Nimekuja kuifungua. Itafikisha stima kwa manyumba ya wananchi karibu 8,500. Na hiyo ni awamu kidogo. Wajir South mzima tunatumia 1.1 billion kuunganisha stima kwa wananchi wa Wajir South. Pia tulikubaliana na wao kwamba tutawajengea soko mpya ya milioni 150. Tutawajengea affordable housing. Imefanywa kandarasi, nyumba 400 zitajengwa pale, na vile vile tumekubaliana ya kwamba hostels ya TVET tayari tumepatiana kandarasi, ndio watoto ama vijana wanaosoma katika technical training college yao waweze kupata makazi. Vile vile nilikubaliana na watu wa Habaswein ya kwamba ile airstrip iko katikati ya town, tutakubaliana na wao tuiondoe nje kidogo ndio tuweze kuwajengea tena upya. Baada ya hapo nikaenda Griftu. Griftu ni mahali nilienda wakati mmoja. Nimeenda kule mara nyingi, lakini wakati mmoja nilianza kwenda pale nikiwa waziri wa kilimo, na tulianzisha pale college ambayo nimefurahi ya kwamba sasa tumeinua. Miaka 4 5 hivi iliyopita tulitoa pesa ya serikali karibu shilingi milioni 300 to upskill the livestock training center in Griftu. Na nilienda pale kwa sababu ya kuupgrade hiyo college na vile vile kujenga barabara za pale mjini. Nilienda kuzianzisha kwa sababu tunajenga barabara kilomita 10 kuunganisha ile barabara kubwa ambayo inaenda Moyale na watu wa Griftu, na kujenga town ya Griftu iwaje kuwa ni mahali ya vumbi na matope, ianze kukaa kama town. Saa hizi inakaa kidogo kama kijiji, lakini that's what I went there to do. And I have many other projects that are going on kuna miradi mingine mingi. Kesho nitakuwa Eldas, kuna barabara naanzisha kule Eldas, kuna mradi wa maji ambayo ninaanzisha kule Eldas, na vile vile nitaenda Kutulo kwa maneno ya barabara ya sehemu ile, na pia kufungua mambo ya stima ambayo tumekamilisha katika sehemu hiyo. Na haya tu ni baadhi ya miradi ambayo yanaendelea katika Northern Kenya, na nitarudi hapa tena. Baadaye nitaenda Garissa kesho, kwa sababu pia na kule tuko na shughuli ya miradi ya maendeleo ya sehemu hiyo, na nitarudi tena hapa Northern Kenya kwa miradi mingine, kushughulika na programs ya maendeleo ya sehemu hii. Kwa mfano, tumemalizia kujenga airport ya Wajir, na nashukuru county government ya Garissa kwa sababu ya kujenga terminal building ambayo sasa imekamilika. Pia nitarudi hapa, tume expand runway ya Wajir, na kama vile wananchi wa hapa waliniuliza, sasa tuta expand ile terminal building na tuwe na civilian terminal building, ndio ache terminal building ya wanajeshi, tuwe na ingine ya wananchi ama raia. Vile vile nimezungumzia jana pia Mandera. Muliona karibu miezi 2-3 iliyopita kulikuwa na ajali kidogo ya ndege pale, kwa sababu ile airstrip iko katikati ya town, na tulikubaliana na wananchi wa pale na viongozi ya kwamba tutaitoa nje, na tayari panga vile serikali itajenga airport mpya ya watu wa Mandera, katika harakati ya kuhakikisha ya kwamba kila sehemu ya Kenya inashughulikiwa na miradi na mipango ya maendeleo. Na tunafanya hivyo sio Northern Kenya peke yake, tunafanya hivyo sehemu zote za taifa letu la Kenya. Specifically tunazungumzia kuhusu Northern Kenya kwa sababu leo tuko hapa, na kwa sababu vile vile tunajaribu kusahihisha ile makosa ilipatikana pale nyuma, kuhakikisha kwamba sehemu zote za Kenya tunashughulikia. Mimi nimefurahi sana leo, pia nimeenda kufungua hospitali ya level 5 ya Wajir, na nataka niwapongeze viongozi wa hapa, hasa governor wa hapa na members of the county assembly kwa kufanya kazi mzuri ya kujenga hiyo level 5 hospital. Ile nimekubaliana na wao ni kwamba tutawasaidia katika equipping, kuweka vifaa ya kuhakikisha kwamba hiyo hospitali inahudumia watu wa Wajir. Na tayari equipment ambayo tumetoa kama serikali ni karibu milioni 300 ikielekea 500 ya matumizi kwa hospitali za watu wa Wajir. Different x-ray machines, digital x-ray machines, CT scans na yale mengine ambayo yanatumika katika mahospitali zetu. Tumekuwa na changamoto pale nyuma ya vifaa kupatikana, but we developed as a government an innovative equipment deployment mechanism that does not put a strain on either the county or the government or the facilities, but they are done in a manner that is mutually beneficial between the private sector and the public sector. So mimi nimefurahi sana kuwa hapa katika county hii na katika sehemu hii ya Northern Kenya, na mimi nataka niwaeleze wananchi wa Kenya kutoka hapa Mandera, mambo ya afya ni mambo ya muhimu sana. If there is one thing that I am very, very passionate about, is the health of the people of Kenya. And I can see with clarity the opportunity that is there for us to equalize all Kenyans so that we can live by the constitutional imperative of Section 43 of our Constitution that health is a right of every citizen, irrespective of their social or economic background. And that is why we have deployed as government the largest program in the history of Kenya is universal health coverage. Today we have 31.5 million Kenyans registered. The largest program ever. And I want to say this, that the universal health coverage we are driving in Kenya, the innovation that we have put in, the digitization, the deployment of technology, what we are doing with supply of commodities, what we are doing with deployment of equipment will be the most progressive universal health coverage, not in Kenya, not in our region, in the world. Mark these words. You will come to know what I'm saying is the correct position one day. What we are doing in Kenya, we have worked with many countries. I was in Egypt, Ghana, and different places. What we are doing in Kenya is transformational. It is transformational. And that is why I want to assure this nation that we know what we are doing. You know? We have many partners. I will give you an example. We've had the challenge of COVID before. We now have the issue of Ebola. But I want to assure this nation that the government of Kenya has made adequate arrangements. We have deployed every arsenal that we have to make sure that we protect Kenya, that we deal with the challenge. We have made preparations for isolation units, for surveillance, for treatment. In 23 counties, we have activated different mechanisms, and different hospitals have been already set up to make sure that if there was a case of Ebola in Kenya, we would know what to do with it. As I talk to the country this evening, we are screening every day any visitor who comes to Kenya. All our borders are on high alert. All our borders, land borders, air borders are already activated. There is surveillance, there is screening. On average, we screen close to 3,000 people every day who either come to Kenya or are in transit, to make sure that those who show symptoms, we quarantine them, we isolate them, test them. Fortunately for our country, not a single person tested has tested positive for Ebola. And I want to ask leaders and citizens who have any doubt on the level of preparedness by the government of Kenya, that they should not have any such doubt. Our partnership with our friends, the American government, is a partnership that is mutually beneficial to us and to them. When President Trump asked the government of Kenya to support them by having a center in Laikipia Air Base, I gave the okay because it was an agreement and a partnership with friends who have worked with Kenya for 30, 40 years. The American government has supported us. They have deployed huge resources in Kenya to work with us on HIV/AIDS, to work with us on other diseases. They worked with us on Ebola. In fact, KEMRI was one of the institutions that worked on research on the vaccines for COVID, because we have a solid partnership with America and other partners. So the facility that is at Laikipia Air Base is not a facility different from all the other facilities that we have across Kenya. We have 23 other facilities set up in Kenyatta Hospital, in the police hospital in Nairobi, in Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital in Eldoret, in Kenyatta Hospital in Thika, in Alupe Hospital in Busia, and in many other areas. And these facilities are meant to make sure that there is proper screening, and if there is any positive identification of people who have Ebola, then immediately they are isolated, they are treated so that we avoid any spread of the disease. So I want to ask those who are questioning our preparedness or our preparing to make sure that we deal with a challenge, if ever it gets to our country. What are they telling us? They are telling us we should not prepare. Are they telling us we should not be ready? And the fact that we could end up with a case is not far-fetched. We have security people serving in Congo DRC. We have thousands upon thousands of Kenyans in DRC. If, for whatever reason, they were to become victims of Ebola, we would have a responsibility as a country to treat them. We would have a responsibility to our citizens to make sure that we take care of them. What the American government is doing is to work with us in partnership to build the capacity to make sure that if ever we needed a facility, that facility will be there to serve the people of Kenya and to serve our friends, including the Americans. And let me say this for the avoidance of any doubt. This is not the first time we are doing such a facility with partners. During COVID, we built a whole facility at the UN headquarters in Nairobi that served people from different parts of the world, members of the UN family, others who were in need. They came, they were served in Nairobi. I am wondering why anybody would want to politicize, to mobilize negative politics on a matter so serious as a pandemic. You know, we are a responsible government. We know what we are doing. So people should relax. You know, politicians should avoid reckless, unnecessary talk that doesn't mean anything. I am very confident about what we are doing as a country. I can assure the people of Kenya that the agreement between the government of Kenya and the American government is for the good of our country and for the partnership that friends like the American government have demonstrated to us over time. They have deployed huge resources. They've given us a grant of close to 200 billion Kenya shillings to support the building of our health infrastructure. They've done it before. It's not the first time. They're doing it again because that is the nature of international solidarity. That's the nature of friendship and partnership with people whom you share common values, like the way we do with the American people. So I say this just to make sure that anybody who wants to know what it is, this is from me. The same way I am serious and committed about making sure that every citizen, irrespective of their financial or social status, has access to health. It is the same commitment that involves our commitment to dealing with pandemics, including Ebola. So, sorry if I have gone too far into other manenos, but I think it is the security of our country that is at stake, and that is why I must speak candidly about this.
Nitawapa nafasi wanahabari wenzangu ambao wamekaa kwenye panel. Labda nikimpa nafasi Fahad na Saman pia.
Excellency, welcome to Wajir.
Asante.
I am Mohamed Saman, an national fan also from Wajir. Karibu sana. My question is, during the Madaraka Day exhibition week here in Wajir, for the first time ever, a child in Wajir has seen an emerging technology. Like, in fact, a kid from Wagberi Primary saw a robot for the first time. What is your government doing to ensure that remote areas like Wajir are not left behind in the ever-changing technology world? Thank you so much, Excellency.
Thank you, my friend. Very progressive question. Just so that you know, we are rolling out a national program of making sure that we expand our fiber optic connectivity across Kenya so that we can use the digital platform to bring on board technology, you know? And so when I talk to the country about what we are doing on the digital space, it is because I believe that the future of our nation is going to be driven by technology. And that is why I said in my statement today that my pride is that the first grade 10 cohort, 52% are actually students enrolled in STEM subjects. The people who will do exactly what you're saying, they will want to know what a robot is. How do we use a robot? How does technology change the way we deliver things? In the hospital right here, when I went to open the hospital this afternoon, we were being shown a drone that is going to be delivering blood from one facility to another. That's going to delivering critical medicines. If there is, for example, a critical patient in Bute, you know, a drone can deliver the correct medicine within half an hour. If you were to use the road, you would maybe possibly take 3-4 hours, you know. So we are making it easier to save lives, you know, to serve people much more faster, much more efficiently using technology. And that is why we must train, we must provide facilities for students, for pupils, to create pathways for them to be able to do STEM subjects that will give them the possibility to deal with the technology you're talking about. So we are spot on. We are not only doing the right thing with curriculum, and that's why, you say it's Sama? Saman. That's why I am a great believer in competence-based education. You know, for a very long time, we took kids to school to pass exams. You know, that's not all, because all our students are not gifted the same. Now we have 3 different pathways. So recognizing that our children are gifted differently. There are those who are gifted in arts. There are those who are gifted in STEM subjects. There are those who are gifted in sports, you know, and we must develop all those talents so that we can have a wholesome society. And that is why I was saying today in my statement that it is now clear to us that if 52%, and our intention is to drive it to 60% of our students, we will now be developing students who are not only good at passing exams, they will do critical thinking, they will do problem solving, and then they will be able to leverage on technology to be able to make our country better. Remember, I have said that no society can progress beyond its capacity to think. You know, if it's the knowledge we are building, how do we create new knowledge? It's through education, training, and through research. So I quite agree with you that no part of our country is going to be left behind. That's why we are changing the curriculum. We are making sure that we mainstream that curriculum, and we are deploying technology. You heard me say we are building workshops and laboratories, 1,600 of them, in largely remote areas, part of them in this part of the world, to make sure that we expose our pupils and our children to the right learning tools for them to be able to participate meaningfully in driving the nation into the future.
Labda swali la mwisho kutoka Mandera.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. President. Welcome to Wajir County. There was a question that you have previously asked. Olisema, when you formed the government, you had reached out to the former president, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, and the late former Prime Minister. What did the former president say about that? Did he agree to work with you for the betterment of the nation?
Well, my friend, that's a difficult question, because I do not want to offend people. It's not necessary. But that does not stop me from working with, I have many friends from across the nation. And I reach out to as many as I can. And I work with people from across Kenya at different levels. There are those who want to work with me because when I thought of how do we move Kenya to the next level, and when I was developing the thinking of Kenya even beyond William Ruto, you know, as we look at Vision 2030, 2030 is right here with us. How do we stretch out that vision further? And that is why I was saying that we need to fundamentally do 3 things. Number 1, we need to generate energy. We do not have enough energy. Number 2, we need to develop more infrastructure, especially transport and logistics infrastructure, roads, toll roads, highways, airports, seaports. You know, that is, we need to put in money there. And then thirdly, we are still a country that is food deficient. we still have too many people in Kenya who don't even have enough food. There are too many. And that is why we have to do irrigation. And it's the reason why I have said that we need another 2.5 million acres to be put under agricultural production for food security and also for our exports. And that is how this region comes into the equation of food security, whether it is livestock or crop agriculture. This region, through irrigation, will actually be the next frontier. And when I was proposing some of these things, I discussed with the former Prime Minister. I explained to him my thoughts, and he agreed with me. I also sat down with the former president, and I told him, this is what I am thinking. And I asked them to work with me to develop, you know, the next 15, 20 years of what Kenya should look like. Yeah. We will continue to, you know, work with everybody who wants to work with us. You know, unfortunately, you know, some people are short-termist. They are looking at the next election. You know, the next election is okay. You know, we can discuss about the next election. But what is important for Kenya, it's not necessarily the next election. It is, how do we see the next generation? How do we see Kenya beyond the leaders who are here today? Because that is how countries that have succeeded have stretched their imagination and their thinking for them to take the country that far. And I just want to give you my assurance, my friend, that I will work with all the leaders who are prepared to think about Kenya beyond their, you know, their communities, the next general election, the next, you know, or their region. I mean, this country is way, way greater than any person, any election, or any region. We are stronger together. We are stronger as one, and not in not divided.
Nitampa nafasi ya mwisho labda Fahad, lakini kabla ya hayo Bwana Rais, wenyeji wa Mandera wanaulizia swala la ukosefu wa stima. Umekuwa pale Mandera, kumekuwa na generator imepelekwa pale. Kwa mara moja uliwaahidi kwamba utatoa stima nchi jirani ya Ethiopia. Mpango huu umeishia wapi?
Mpango huo inaendelea. Nimekuwa hapa na gavana wa Mandera, niliongea naye jana. Nimekuwa hapa na senator wa Mandera na viongozi wa Mandera. Mbunge wa Mandera Town alikuwa na mimi leo akiniuliza mambo haya, na nimeshawapatia taarifa mahali tumefikia kama serikali. Tulipeleka, kwa sababu kwa sasa inahitajika karibu megawatt 3 ya stima. Tulipeleka transformers mpya kule. Shida kidogo ikatokea kwamba katika ile kutransport zile transformer kuna yenye iliharibika njiani na inarekebishwa, na nishawapatia hakikisho kutoka kwangu ya kwamba wizara ambayo inahusika, wizara ya kawi, inashughulika na haya maneno, na mimi mwenyewe nafuatilia kuhakikisha kwamba tunatatua tatizo hilo. Pia hapa Mandera,
Wajia.
Hapa Wajia, pia hapa Wajia tuko na mpango tayari. Tunafanya procurement sasa ya karibu shilingi bilioni 2.5 kuhakikisha kwamba tuna generate kupitia kwa solar megawatt 8 ya watu wa hapa Wajia, na solarization na hybridization, ndio tuhakikisha kwamba tunapunguza ile diesel inatumika hapa, na tunahakikisha kwamba kuna stima ya kutosha.
Fahad.
Thank you. Your Excellency, thank you. My name is Ahmed Hussein. I work with Standard Media Group. I have 2 questions, Your Excellency. The first one is, does it bother you when people say must go? does it make you feel exhausted trying to do too much, yet people don't look like they appreciate? My second question is, Rigathi Gachagua and the opposition today said it was wrong for you to hold Madaraka Day celebrations here in Wajir, yet people from this region need basic infrastructure like schools, in the water, health sector. They blamed the local leadership in the northeastern region for failing the region rather than the successive regimes that you paid, you rather apologize for. Thank you.
I think you have helped me answer the question. Because those who are complaining about us holding Madaraka here, they have done absolutely nothing about the situation in this part of the world. It is my administration that is changing northern Kenya, practically, with roads, with electricity, with water, with housing, with markets, with hostels, here in northern Kenya. And it just confirms to you that those people have no vision, they have no plan, they have no agenda. They have nothing to offer except criticism for the sake of criticism. And they will blame everybody except their own ignorance and their own incompetence. When those people had an opportunity to lead, they did nothing about northern Kenya. Absolutely nothing. Some of them have been in leadership for long, right? So I don't think we should bother ourselves with those ones. Those ones are just wasting our time. And must go, must come, must do whatever. That's the beauty of democracy. You can say whatever you want. You can chant whatever you want. One Tam, Kazungu, and all the others. But they don't bother me one bit, because bottom line, the people of Kenya will assess every leader on account of their track record, of their vision for the nation, and of their plan for the future of Kenya. Kenyans listen. You know, when I talked to the people of Kenya in the last election, and I told them I was going to do this about the economy, I was going to do this about agriculture, I was going to do this about education, I was going to do this about health, I talked to them about housing. Today, I can face the people of Kenya and tell them, when I told you about the economy, I have sorted out inflation, I have dealt with exchange rates, I have dealt with interest rates. And today, we have saved more money than ever. I can face the people of Kenya and tell them, I told you something about agriculture, that I was going to change agriculture. Today, I have transformed agriculture. Fertilizer prices have come down. We have removed cartels in the sugar industry. We have removed cartels in the coffee industry. Today, farmers are earning more money in sugar, earning more money in coffee. You heard the statistics today. Our meat exports has gone up by 80%. Our dairy product has gone up from 4.9 billion to 14 billion shillings. So I have transformed agriculture, and I am ready for the exam on what I committed and what I have done. I made a commitment that I was going to sort out health. Today, from 8 million people in NHIF, we have 31 million people. From the monies that were being disbursed by NHIF, close to maybe 25, 30 billion shillings a year, today in 1.5 years, we have disbursed 150 billion. 3 or 4 times that used to be done by NHIF to our health facilities. Yesterday, just yesterday, SHA disbursed 12.7 billion Kenya shillings to all our facilities in Kenya. When I told the people of Kenya we were going to have a housing program that was going to bring dignity, today Kibera is changing. I want to challenge you to go to Kibera. Just go to Wajir here. See what housing is doing to our skyline. See what housing is doing to our markets. See what we are doing in our hostels. So, my housing plan was not talk. It wasn't just promise. Today, I can face the people of Kenya and show them what I have done. I told the people of Kenya I'm going to change education. We had problems in CBC. You know, we had problems in teacher recruitment. We had big problems in funding model. Universities were closing down. Today, that has changed. Today, we have competence-based education. It's working. Today, we have hired 100,000 teachers, the highest in the history of the Republic of Kenya. Today, we have a university funding model that is getting our universities out of insolvency. That is the kind of track record Kenyans will vote for. And every leader should be able to put their track record on to the people of Kenya, you know? So that's how you transform a nation. You don't transform a nation by, you know, must go, one thumb, and all the other sloganeering. That is, in fact, what has stalled this nation. As Korea moved on, as Singapore moved on, as other countries moved on, we were stuck in leadership that does not have a plan. I want to ask you, my good brother, those people, I will challenge them to come and compete with me on my track record, my commitment to the people of Kenya, and the plan I have for this nation. And the people of Kenya are going to judge which leader has a better plan than the other one. Kenyans are not going to judge anybody on account of how much you shout one slogan or the other. They are going to want to know, how is Kenya going to change? How are our children going to go to school? Which opportunities are we creating for our young people? How are we creating wealth? How are we dealing with poverty? And how are we dealing with insecurity and all the other things that challenge our nation? So don't worry about those people. We will deal with them at the right time.
Shukran sana Bwana Irens. Naona kuna maswali mengine, lakini hapa pia kwa upande huu napelekwa mbio kidogo. Tumeshukuru sana muda wenu watazamaji kwa kutizama mahojiano haya moja kwa moja kutoka eneo hili la Wajir. Na bila shaka rais alizungumzia mambo mengi, yakiwemo kuzungumzia au kuangalia upya swala la Wagala, Malkamare na bila shaka mauaji ya Garissa. Baadhi ya mambo ambayo amezungumzia pia ni mpaka wa Kenya na Somalia, na amesema kwamba tutazidi kuzingatia hali hiyo japo si wakati sahihi. Kwa hivyo nitampa mwenzangu labda Faisal akimalizia.
Ngenipatia kidogo one time. Gender equality. Mr. President, we cannot talk for 1.5 hours without discussing the marginalized groups. And we haven't discussed. So please, the article of the Constitution, the Article 54, gives employment 5% to people with a disability. And as a country, we are at 2%, which is very unfortunate. So as your administration, what punitive measures are you putting in place so that people with disability are inclusive in all employment, whether government or public institution? The other thing, Nyota Fund has really supported our youth. Do we have empowerment program for people with disability? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Halima. And just to assure you that the issue of inclusion is not an event. It is a deliberate process. You know, it will not happen in one day. And I agree with you, maybe we need to do more. In fact, as part of driving affirmative action around marginalized groups, I have set up an office right in the presidency to drive the inclusion agenda, especially of marginalized groups. We are seeing how we can extend more bursaries, you know, to the marginalized groups. We can extend more opportunities. And maybe that is something that I will take home as some homework for me to work on it, so that we can accelerate it more. And on the last issue about empowerment of the same categories of Kenyans, it is still what I have told you, that it is work in progress, and that's why I have asked the head of public service to personally lead that exercise, so that we can bring on board people who feel they are not part of this equation. Even as we do what we are doing in northern Kenya, we must do it also for all the other marginalized sectors of our society. But allow me, because of time, to say I'm truly grateful. Thank you very much for taking your time to listen to me. I know there are many listeners out there, people from different parts of Kenya. I want to tell the people of Kenya that Wajir is a great place. It's a wonderful city. And because what I have seen here, as I have done in the past, you know, there are great opportunities for people for investment in Wajir. I want to encourage investors to come and invest in this part of Kenya. We will, as I promised today, we will be working on building a university here that is going to harness the rich history of this county. A county or a town that was set up in 1912 is one of the oldest towns that we have in Kenya. And so I want to encourage more people to travel around Kenya. Let us sample our country. Your village is good, but maybe you want to discover the next village. And you might find that there is something to share across Kenya. So asanteni sana, nawatakia heri. Thank you, good people, for all the engagement that we have gone through. If I have fallen short of answering some of your questions, it was not intentional. It was in the course of doing business. Asanteni sana, and I wish you well. And good night. Asante.